Garage. This week we're putting a new muffler on the Dakota. Well, good morning. We're working in a funny spot. We're right next to my house, and that is simply because there was shade here, and it is basically as hot as it's ever been in this part of the country today. So I decided that shade was a good choice. Anyways, we got a little bit of room. We're right next to a fair bit of foliage, but well, that's never hurt anybody. There'll be some extra oxygen for me to breathe. We're gonna put some mufflers on this thing, and by some I mean one muffler on this thing, because you know, single exhaust, single turbo situation. What it sounds like right now with the stock camshaft and like open exhaust is a high school. It sounds like high school is what it sounds like. So I would like it not to sound like that. And also nephew Sam, last time I took him for a drive, said it's too loud. So mufflers it is, or a muffler I should say. Our muffler of choice is a thrush welded. It looks a lot like this, and it, you know, goes in like that, or goes in like that. It's honestly, it's the same as a Flowmaster 2-chamber. Like they're all the same. This one just says thrush on it, and we chose this muffler based on my wife had one in stock and said you can use this if you want. That seemed like a good option. What do you think, Elvis? Do you like the heat? You having a good time? Yeah, it's warm out, isn't it? We need extra water today. Go over here, Bear. Everybody wants to see you. Hey, how are you doing? You a good girl too? Yeah, you are. So what we've got right now for exhaust is, that's it. What you can see is what you got there. It just pokes out right down there and it's cut off. Now unfortunately it's actually cut off at a wicked angle, and we're gonna have to pull it out to fix that. But if you can see right here, it's also touching the cab, and well, that's not ideal, so we'll fix that at the same time. So what we're doing now, we've pulled the exhaust off as it sits here. You can see it. And we've chopped off the one end that was cut at this kind of angle, because that's too much angle. This isn't the piece that I cut off, but oh, that's a lot of face. This isn't the piece I cut off, but it was that angle. What we've done is we've set our chops up to 15 degrees. We cut it off like that, and then we cut ourselves a pie cut. Now there's a method to the madness at 15 degrees, and that's if you're buying pie cuts, which I'm not, because I have a saw, and also it's a lot cheaper to build your own than buy them. That's what they sell, is 15 degree ones. That's the most they sell, I should say. I think they do also make like 7 or 8 degrees or something, but 15 degrees is nice if you're, you know, making something that was 45s and 90s, because you can add 15 degrees up. And it isn't so much that you start getting like too dimensionally different to weld together, if that makes sense. I'll try and show you. So this is like a straight cut and a 45, and this is double 15. If you put that on there, you end up with that problem right there. See how the 45 has so much extra material? You'd have to do a fair bit of finagling, but it's not so much that you can't weld it onto something that's still cut square at 15 degrees. It's a little big, but you can weld it together. Now, I'm not saying you are maxed out at 15 degrees. Maybe you could go a little more, but that's about what they sell. Like, that's the limit of what they sell, so that's a good place to start. Anyways, we've chopped this one off at 15. We built one pie cut. We have one prefab 90, and we're gonna start there. Basically, we want the exhaust into a convenient place so we can put a V-bend on it as close to the engine as we can, in case we ever get to the point where we want to be, you know, yanking the exhaust off at the races or something like that. And what we're gonna build is the Guido exhaust. It's patent pending, and it's the way to do drag and drive exhaust. Now this is going to be hard to see, but underneath we've also taken some executive action on this seam, Gave it a little clearance. We also took a Bam Bam and gave that a little clearance. And that should take care of the rubbing issue at least. Alright, we are into stage 2 of this process. We've got these guys tacked on just like that. I sort of laid under there and got them as close as I could at least and give them a quick tack. Now, two things that I haven't done before is TIG weld outside, and I haven't ever tried to TIG weld aluminized tubing, which is what this is. All I've done is put tacks on. Maybe it's a terrible idea to try and TIG weld with aluminized tubing. I don't know. Certainly don't know what kind of filler to use, so I'm using what I have. And as far as TIG welding outside, well, it's not too windy, so I don't think it'll blow the gas around too bad. I don't expect it's any worse than MIG. So we're just gonna, you know, carry on and try it. Whoa, what is happening? Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you want TIG welding that kind of looks like oxyacetylene welding, I'm your guy. All right, we have that in there. We have our prefab 90, and then we've got this attached. Now what we did was run our pipe. We put it back here, back like that way, exactly where we want it to be. Then we welded the V-band onto it, and now we've got the V-band just sort of forced up against the 90. Now the reason we're doing it that way is you get a bit of wiggle on those because they've got like the pipe fits into the 90, so you can be out of whack just a little bit. They're kind of sloppy, especially on the end of a 90. Now what we'll do is we'll tack the V-band to the 90, and then we know that it's exactly where it needs to be so that this all fits nice. Because clearances in here are not, you don't have all of it, let's say. If you're putting lots of bends in, sure, but we're trying to do it with basically a straight piece pipe. So we don't have a ton of room, but you know, we got 3/4 of an inch everywhere, so that'll be enough. Anyways, I'm gonna tack this up, pull it out, finish weld it, and well, that's all the welding that we have to do. Well, I guess other than hang muffler, but we're getting close anyways. One thing about putting these V-bands on, and that is, don't even consider putting a bead of weld on it till you've got like a million tacks around the outside. Because what happens is, that flange that's right in front of my face, that'll warp if you try and put a bead around it without a bunch of tacks. And then that's crappy. It's like, it's not a fun time anymore, because at best you're cutting it off and putting a new one on, or you're trying to machine it flat, or it's all bad options. So just get a bunch of tacks before you go to actually weld it. That's my actual useful tip of the day, which I don't often offer, but let's just say the Jeep has an exhaust leak that would never have gone away if I had not taken care of it the hard way. And that it made the whole experience less fun for, you know, the extra minute to put a bunch of tacks on first, or do it gradually, or whatever your technique is, but try and keep this from warping anyways. Were you very upset, Elvis, that nobody was inside and you were all by yourself? You know Luna was there. Luna! Nope, she went back in the house. I did think this was pretty cool as I was looking at the muffler. That's neat. I like that. Incidentally, if we go to the back of the Dakota, you're going to see one of the old stickers that I couldn't bring myself to remove because I thought it was too cool. And it just happens to work out. you know, some things are just meant to be. We've got the downpipe in, hopefully for the last time. We're waiting for it to cool off, then we can put our mid-pipe? Sure, mid-pipe. And then we'll hang a muffler on there and figure out where to put our hangers, and probably realize that we don't have any hanger rod, because I think I used it all. But like we're minutes away from starting it up and seeing what it sounds like, so that's pretty good. We're gonna fire it up, no muffler, so you guys can remember what it sounds like. Well, it'll have the mid-pipe on now, so it's gonna sound a little different, but we'll fire it up, let it warm up. You can listen to it for a minute like that. Then we're gonna slip the muffler on and hear the difference. Because, I don't know, I like doing that stuff. I like watching that stuff too. Now the muffler installed. Hi, Elvis. It's okay, buddy. It's just me being loud. You know. Why don't you go inside for a minute? Don't let it bother you. What'd you think of that, eh? That wasn't so bad. I kind of like that new sound. It does sound exactly like Flowmaster, which is what we were expecting and honestly hoping for. So that's great. I am not disappointed about that at all. Now meanwhile, we're gonna call that an evening because, you know, it's dark out. And I got a magazine article to finish writing about Miles Mayhem for Cruise Culture magazine. So, you know, I got stuff to do tonight. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Bye. Don't drive boring cars.